Hello everyone, welcome to another session on Introduction to Television and Cinema. And in this particular session, I am going to summarize the module 3 of your textbook, Introduction to Television and Cinema. Okay, this will be more or less like a quick summary to that particular chapter on an overview of cinema. Okay, that is the title of the chapter. So we'll quickly summarize what exactly are the major points that we have discussed in this particular session. Okay, so the first topic that we have discussed in your textbook, it was brief history of film. I hope you remember the timeline that we have discussed, the timeline from the Lumiere brothers. We have started with 1895, the Lumiere brothers and their discovery. Okay, and from there we have slowly traveled on to the 20th century, and a few years that we have to remember in the 20th century, where 1927, with the movie the jazz singer sound got introduced into film. And then in the early 1930s, we have color films, replacing, more or less replacing, you can say, the black and white kind of movies. In the year 1953, the cinemascope was introduced into the films. Okay, and in between we have the studio type of trend in 1940s, and towards the end of 1930s and in 1940s we have studios, the trend of setting up studios and taking film from the studios, it was there. Okay, so these, you can say, are the major points that we have discussed with regard to the history of film. Okay, and for further reference, you can definitely refer to our old video on the history of film. I have already done 2 videos on history of film, so that you can refer to that and you can have a better understanding of the history of film. Okay, and one more thing I forgot, that in the 1950s, there is a kind of a setback to the film industry with the emergence of television. Okay, that happened in the early 1950s. So these are the major dates or years that you have to remember. Okay, so that is all about the first part, that is the history of film. And then the second area that we have discussed, it was the characteristics of film. I have already discussed in detail in 2 or 3 lectures probably, about the characteristics of film. So we'll quickly summarize. First and foremost is that film is a mass medium, like it is addressed to the masses. Okay, like it is a medium of mass communication. The second most important point is like film is in fact a medium of entertainment. That is another characteristic, you can say. Okay, it's a medium of entertainment. Okay, to instruct something, that is also there, especially when we see in parallel cinema, you can see some examples of that. But altogether, when we look at the concept of film, you can say it developed as a kind of an entertainment. Okay, so that is the second most important characteristic about cinema. Third one, cinema is an art medium. I have already discussed in detail with you what exactly we mean by art. Okay, just like any other art, like dance, music, like you can say painting, like that, you can say cinema is also an art medium. And that is why the actors, we call them as artists, cinema artists, we call them as cinema artists, like drama, this is also an art. Okay, the next one is cinema demands people's concentration, the concentration of the people. Okay, you have to concentrate, then only what exactly that is conveyed in a movie, you will get a better understanding of that thing. Okay, so cinema demands the viewer's concentration. That is the next characteristic of cinema. Okay, the fifth characteristic is it is a collaborative medium. I have told you already, we have discussed that in detail, in fact, that cinema is not about the actor, cinema is not about the director, Cinema is not about the producer, it is not about the screenwriter. It is in fact a collaboration of, so many people, starting from the technicians, you can say from the light boys, everybody has got a significant role in cinema. Nowadays, we consider this as like, it is all about the actor or it's all about the director. That kind of a notion, it is very prevalent. Yet, when we talk about cinema as a whole, the characteristic of cinema, this point that you have to keep in mind, that it is a collaborative medium. It is in fact a collaboration of, many people, many artists, many technicians are there behind cinema. And lastly, cinema is a medium for development. Medium for development means for the advancement of the society, for the advancement of the life of people. Okay, you can say cinema can be used. Okay, like, literature can be used, to an extent as a kind of a reflection about the society, or you can say like, it can educate people against some superstitions that are prevalent in the society. Cinema can do that, some against some superstitions, or you can say some false prejudices that are there in the society. Cinema can educate people. So cinema, in short, can be used as a medium for the development of the society as a whole. Okay, so these are the 6 characteristics of cinema. That is the second important area that we have to discuss in relation with cinema. Okay, that is about the characteristics of cinema. And now we move on to types of films. As I've told you in the beginning, I will cut short this video into 2 or 3, because instead of giving you a very long video up to 1 hour, I feel like short videos, that will be more helpful for you, and it looks attractive, that is why. So that is, with that, we conclude this particular video. From the next, we'll discuss in another video.